Hey everyone and welcome to Storytime. My name is Jake and today we are going to be looking at the subreddit r/idontworkherelady. So sit back, relax and enjoy some Reddit stories. Citizen comes into government office and admits to a crime, wants to file complaint. I work for a local government in a small town as a GIS employee. I'm not required to, but I try to help out people who come in while the secretary is out. We occasionally get some interesting people in here. This was one of those times, and it happened about a year and a half back. I'm working on making a map or something when I hear the front desk's bell ding. I go up to the front desk and ask the man how I can help him. He said that one of our workers was being really mean to him and he'd like to make a complaint. I tell him the street department head isn't in, but I can try and relay him the details, and also that he might have better luck at City Hall. I am very clear this whole time that this isn't actually my job, but I don't mind helping. He starts describing the incident. He said there was road construction and he completely blew past a road closing, and the workers who were in the road yelled and swore at him. He actually said something about him not being sure the sign meant it, with regards to its closure. I recognize the area because I'd gotten some CAD files from there a while back, and I tell him that work on that road was actually being handled by private contractors. So not only is this report not my job, but it's not even government employees that did anything. "But can't you do something?" he asks. This is when it hits me. I ask him, "Wait, you violated a traffic regulation, and it sounds like you even endangered some workers. Then you went into a government building and effectively made a confession, to a random GIS worker no less, but I didn't say that. And you want us to punish non-employees. You realize you could actually be the one to get in trouble over this if you pursue it, right?" My tone was genuinely cautionary. I was not really trying to accost him or anything. His face kinda goes white, and he just says, "Oh," as it dawns on him what he just tried to do. He then rushes out of the office. He didn't seem angry, but he did seem to realize he was in the wrong. Dunno if the poor fella followed up at the city hall after that, but I'd reckon not. What kind of confession was that? Like, "Oh, people got really angry at me when I did something really stupid. I'm gonna go complain." I'm not an interpreter. Literally happened earlier this evening. My roommate gets home and gets himself a shower after work. He's trying to unwind and having a conversation with me in ASL. I notice he starts acting a bit off. Being epileptic myself, I start to suspect but not sure. I ask if he's feeling alright, and he says he feels weird, and suddenly, full-blown seizure. This roommate does not have a history of seizures, so I immediately get my boyfriend to dial 911 and ask for paramedics. Meanwhile, I'm putting on my hearing aids and getting my shoes on, as by this time I've already moved things that could hurt him away from him prior. The paramedics come. I grab the roommate's keys and drive his car to the hospital. I get there and check in as a guest, with a guest sticker to slap beautifully across my chest. I get let in and told where his room is, blah blah. If you've ever visited someone in hospital, you know the general gist of getting to the person's room. So I'm sitting there wearing my hearing aids, so now I could potentially have a conversation without the need for signing, but I'm signing anyway, because I'm just more comfortable that way. He in turn signs what he can. The nurse comes in and checks on him and makes sure he's got everything he needs for the time being, making sure he's comfortable, etc. Informs him someone will be coming by from radiology. Soon enough, yup, someone from radiology shows up with a wheelchair, helps him into the chair and carts him away. He's signing back, I'll be back, all Terminator-like. So I'm sitting there in his room just waiting, when the nurse returns to the roommateless room. The nurse says, something something something, patient, something something, interpreter. No thanks, roommate doesn't need an interpreter. Wrong answer, that's apparently not what she asked. She looked more frustrated in her face, her eyebrows furrowed. Me now trying my hardest to lip read someone I can barely make anything out from. Something something, another patient, something sign language interpreter, something something something, can't something something, one patient, all the time, something something something. I'm not an ASL interpreter, and I don't work for the hospital, I'm here for roommate. Something something needs interpreter now, something something going. I'm not exactly sure what you're trying to say. I'm deaf, I'm not an interpreter. Nurse is now getting furious, but storms off, and I'm thinking I've heard the end of it. My roommate is returned after what felt like an eternity, and we're chatting back and forth, again with sign. Apparently the nurse had made a complaint about me, as suddenly and without warning, the charge nurse is in the room and my roommate is signing everything the charge nurse is whining at me about. You need to get off your duff and help other patients that need a sign language interpreter. You can't be sitting here dedicating yourself to one single patient. You will be called back to this patient if he needs something important spoken to him. My roommate com-signing, which is speaking while signing. He's not an interpreter, he's my deaf roommate. I'm interpreting what you're saying to him and trying to enjoy my conversation with him. The charge nurse goes white as a ghost, but the word deaf seems to have fallen on deaf ears. Well, can he at least help with translation so other hearing impaired patients can be treated? Again, roommate is signing everything to me. I chime in vocally. Ma'am, I'm deaf. I can't hear you. I can't make out what you're saying unless someone translates it for me. So how would it be possible for me to translate what's being said to other deaf people currently in the hospital? I don't work here. You don't pay me, and I can't hear worth a dang to do what you're requesting. Well, you could still help out. Don't you sign interpreters have some sort of oath you have to follow? My roommate tells the woman, the mere fact that you are confusing a deaf person for a sign language interpreter and demanding a deaf person interpret language he can't hear is honestly quite freaking frightening in a hospital environment. Do you realize how terrifying that kind of stuff is? Doesn't surprise me. This is the same hospital that had a nurse ask if I wanted to discharge papers in Braille. That was this hospital? By this point, the charge nurse seems to have gotten the picture and profusely apologizes to my roommate, not to me though, and scampers away not to be seen again. The doctor eventually comes in and goes over the details with roommate. That nothing appeared amiss in his brain scan and everything looked alright, but told him to stop taking a medication he was on. I didn't catch the name of the med. Apparently, this medicine can rarely cause seizures, and today was the second day of having taken said medicine, so it made sense. Just basically, drink plenty of fluids, don't go to work the next few days so the meds clear out of your system, and get plenty of rest and make sure you're in a safe area in case of a random seizure until you're clear. I kid you not, the doctor looks directly at me and tells me I can go to another patient now. I hate this hospital. If I had the spare finances to blow, I'd definitely get those various t-shirts off Amazon that read, I'm deaf, and varying degrees of that so I can avoid stuff like this again in future. Unfreaking believable. To make matters more infuriating, this is the same doctor at the same hospital that told me deaf people can't speak. Don't get sick in small towns. You never know how idiotic hospital staff are. I drove my roommate home in his car. He protested because, "You're epileptic, you could have a seizure at any time." And I said, "Right, now so are you, but I'm medicated for it." That genuinely does sound quite scary, in a hospital environment especially. I am very tall. I am not tall. 5'5" makes me 1 inch above the statistical average in Canada. Today has been pretty awful. Due to a stomach bug, the majority of the day has been spent in the washroom. Heck, even made a little bed on the cool tile floors to reduce the travel time between the toilet bowl and my face. After setting a new daily record of 1.5 hours without kneeling before the porcelain deity, it felt safe to stagger 5 minutes to the grocery store for some broth. After listlessly wandering the aisles, looking like someone who has lost a fight with a raccoon, I find the soup. Just the area of eating is making my gut flip-flop, but my hands are shaking after going so long on an empty tank. As I contemplate what will be the easiest to go down, then probably back up, I notice something standing right next to me. Sidestep, they follow. Look down to see an itty-bitty Tibetan grandma staring up at me. It takes my bleary mind a moment to process the situation. Not the tiny woman in traditional garb, mind you. I live in the Toronto neighborhood of Little Tibet, but why the heck is she staring at me? Sure, I look like a dumpster fire, and may even smell like one, but that's nothing noteworthy in downtown. Silently, she points to the shelf behind her. I blink my bloodshot eyes. She frowns at me and tries again, this time reaching as high as her 4-foot-something frame could stretch. Oh! My exhausted brain finally realizes what's happening. No one has ever asked me to reach something for them. Proudly standing up straight like the most important person in the store, I pull the can from the shelf. Grandma smiles and holds up her fingers asking for more. Of course! I'm tall. I am useful. I am Gulliver surrounded by Lilliputians. She smiled again and wordlessly shuffles off, pushing her cart. Feeling quite chuffed, I grab some broth and head home, actually feeling pretty good. Then another hot wave of nausea rushes over me, and I introduce my stomach acid to the road. Oh joy. I don't work here, lady, but I'll be your grocery store hero. I was really confused. I read the title of I'm really tall, and then the first line of I'm not tall at all, and then I was like, but now I understand. Could you give me the menu? Customer got mistaken for a waiter at a restaurant. My brother has a small restaurant and I help manage it over the weekends for some extra income. Our employees requested for a known but fairly affordable brand of clothing for their uniform, so it's not impossible that a customer would own the same exact shirt like those of our employees, but we had our logos on ours. On one particular night, a customer walks in wearing the exact same shirt we gave our employees, sans the restaurant's logo. One particular Karen saw the guy coming in, and the scene went like this. Me, pookiemanyak, Karen, poor guy wearing the same shirt, and employee, the employee who waited Karen's table. When the poor guy walked in, he grabbed a menu and sat with his friends beside Karen's table. Karen immediately called him and asked for the menu. I'm sorry, but I don't work here. But you're wearing a uniform. It's the same shirt, mine doesn't have a logo. Then Karen looked at me, calling my attention. I then gestured to one of the employees to go to Karen's table. Hi ma'am, can I get you anything? I want to talk to your manager. One of the employees is being rude. The employee then called me to Karen's table. Good evening, ma'am. What seems to be the problem? Your employee is being rude, pointing at the poor guy. I'm sorry ma'am, but he doesn't work here. Are you sure? Absolutely ma'am. Karen then asked for a menu and ordered food as if nothing happened. No apologies, nothing. The poor guy wearing the same shirt was a sport nevertheless. Oh, you know, just casually trying to get someone fired and then just brushing it over like nothing happened, okay. I'm looking for a gift for a Leo. I used to work at an independent bookstore part-time. I no longer work there, but my mum does, and I'm also addicted to buying books I don't need, so I go there often to visit her and check out new releases. There are no uniforms, but the workers do wear a little name badge. A couple months ago, I was hanging out, taking pictures of books because I'm also an annoying bookstagrammer. I'm putting some books back on the shelf when I get a tap on my shoulder. Hi, I'm looking for a gift. Now, I am not currently employed by the store, but I read so much and understand the inventory that I figure maybe I can help. What are you looking for? My friend is a Leo, and I need a birthday gift for her. What does she like? I don't know, but she's a Leo. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not sure what that means in terms of interests. Last-ditch effort to help. What do Leos like? The girl shrugs. Leo things. Okay, I don't actually work here. Maybe someone else can help you. I walked off and found a worker, but they were just as lost, and we ended up just handing her a copy of Girl, Wash Your Face, which seems like a book someone who cares about astrological signs would like. Fun advice: if you are shopping for a gift for someone, know more about them than their zodiac sign. It isn't helpful at all. Yeah, as someone who doesn't follow all the astrology stuff, I would just be so confused. Hey everyone, I hope you all had a really good day and that you enjoyed that video. If you want to check out some other videos, then click on screen right now, or check out the playlist down below. If you enjoyed that video, then please do leave a like, and if you want to submit your own stories, then you can do so by joining the Discord in the top link in the description. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon.